All right. Today we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about the undead plague a little bit more. Um, Fighting some uh, of the game's of the area's harder bosses. Basically trying to clean up what we've got left before we do Stormdale Castle, which might take 2 episodes to be honest. It is somewhat difficult to.
Hello. Here to learn a battle art.
It's somewhat difficult to trigger this fight, so I'm trying to remember all the details.
Well, until we meet again.
Cool. Now this dude, who by the way I'm probably going to have to come back to, I foresee this being rough. Yeah, we're going to have to come back to this guy. But, that is an important part of the DLC. Probably. Note, he has a shield completely covered in briars. Sometimes you accidentally use the wrong item. Okay, we're gonna have to come back to that guy. But we do have several other sort of important encounters this time, including a fan favorite character.
Hello? Can you hear me? Help me. I'm stuck. Hello? Hello? Oh, my stars. I'm so happy to see you. I am Alexander, also known as the Iron Fist. And as you can see, I'm stuck here. Please, can you help me out of this? My thanks. 1,000 thanks. Just give me a good smack from the rear with something nice and big. And I'll pop clean out, I'm sure. Don't dally. No, there's no need to fret. I'm very well trained. Give it your all, I say. Come on. Give me a good smack from behind with something nice and big. I'll pop clean out. I'm sure of it.
A lot of people giggle at those lines. I don't quite get it. What is funny about giving Alexander a good hard smack from behind with something nice and big?
Well played, good lady. Well played. Though that mighty wallop of yours almost spelt the end of me. Well, I'm out now, and that's what counts. I thank you. And as a token of my appreciation, I'd like you to have this. Once again, the pleasure is mine. I am the warrior Jar known as Alexander. Iron Fist Alexander, in fact. I journey to the east, where I intend to further my education in the ways of war. And beyond these lands lie the scarlet, rot-blighted Caelid wilds. And upon their southern edge is Redmane Castle, in which a festival of combat is being held. I'd heard whispers of such festivities before. Doesn't the notion set your breast aflutter?
So that is Alexander. We will be running into him throughout our journey. Note that he's one of those jars we discussed. He's carrying corpses. But as a warrior jar, he's carrying warrior corpses. And we have this item that he gave us. Considered a delicacy in the Badlands. This invigorating repast was for the exclusive benefit of those who they deem heroes. Okay, let's try a slightly less exciting warm-up than the Bellberry Hunter. Apparently I went the wrong way. I'm just, it's not my day for an exciting episode, which is probably for the best. I don't have very much time to shoot, so let's just do the basics and move on. We've already fought one of these, but I did say all bosses, and it's interesting that they're here, as opposed to some other place. Let's see if we can move him away. I don't want to fight like 4 of these ogres at the same time as this guy. They're too late, I suspect. Finally managed to add a giant to the mix. Oh, cool. Okay, let's look at this item we got. A talisman adorned with blue feathers, once used in ancient death rituals. The heart sings when one draws close to death, and thus does one cling so tenaciously to life to render up a death-worth offering. I also want to look at that design again because it's interesting. This sort of pattern shows up in the DLC trailer in a branch that a man is being sort of impaled with. And we see that pattern show up a few times in relationship to death items. So I suspect that there will be at least a little bit of a connection there between sort of death items and dude. And the DLC. Okay, it looks like because I was being chased, I'm not getting the spirit that's supposed to be there. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. Unthinkable or hallowed resting place is violated. To refuse the Erd Tree's call to return to live within death's sickening. So, there is a story in ancient Norse mythology of one of Odin's sons, Balder, was immortal, could not be harmed in any way, and was considered sort of a god of beauty. And so all of the gods would take turns trying to harm him because he couldn't be hurt. So it was like a honor to try to try your strength by attacking him. And the reason he couldn't be hurt was because his mother, Freya, loved him so much that upon his birth, well, upon learning a prophecy that he would be murdered, she went to every thing in the world, every item in the world, and asked for a pledge that they would not hurt her child. So every item had taken a pledge before the gods that they would not hurt Balder, so he could not be harmed in any way. The only exception was she never asked mistletoe. And so Hodor, who was a god of horses, was given a mistletoe branch by Loki and asked to try his strength against Balder. And in doing so, killed him. And this death of a god was one of the first signs of Ragnarok. There we go. And Baldur's brother traveled to the underworld at the behest of Odin to try to convince Hel to let him return. And Hel said if every creature on Earth would weep for him, that she would allow him to return from the dead. And most creatures did, but there was a giant who most scholars believe was Loki in disguise, who said basically, I don't know why I should weep for him, I barely know him. And so he, even though this brother of his had traveled all the way to the underworld to release him, Baldur remained dead. Anyway, there is a similar story in the Elden Ring mythology that was told a little bit at the beginning of the game of the Knight of the Black Knives, where Marika's most beloved son was killed by assassins. And we have one of those assassins wounded, hiding out in here. And you can tell they're wounded because by default these assassins have cloaks that can fool the eye. This one has apparently lost hers. Because, frankly, I can see her and attack her. Generally, they are incredibly dangerous enemies. But this one was badly wounded, so fortunately I had a little bit of a leg up. Okay, so let's look at the item that we got. So here we have an assassin's dagger, misshapen and stained in crimson. Critical hits restore HP. This charm is modeled after the darkly gleaming blades used in the Knight of the Black Knives, those which gave the demigods their first taste of death. And just to be a crazy person. Yeah, they don't look at all alike, actually, now that I look at them. But that shape will appear multiple times. We also received this, I think it's a key item. This death fruit, which is when you look at it, it appears to be one of these golden seeds that's been corrupted and has something wrong sprouting out of it. And we could see in this dungeon, like in most dungeons associated with those who live in death, we could see those weird root systems with the eyes coming up. If I manage to get myself killed, murdered by a pumpkin head after all this, I'm going to be really upset with myself.
Oh, dear.
Am I terribly sorry. Are you here as a customer?
I don't think this guy has anything in particular I want to buy.
I'm afraid I've very little to offer.
But I wanted to stop and listen to that song that he's playing. Originally, in one of the earlier builds of the game, Saint Trina, who is sort of going to be the focus of this playthrough as we go on, was known as Saint Trina of the Cradle Song, and that was the lullaby that she used to calm the merchants who otherwise would give in to sort of a darker urge. And so she had a much more explicit role in the main story. Here, in the game as written, she's still likely a super important character, but she stays more in the background.
There's no mistake, is there? Death has left its mark once again. Ah, a tarnished, are you? I'm known as D. I hunt down those who live in death and weed their death root. Heed my warning. The village here has been touched by death. And worse yet, it is home to a mariner. If you value your life, then go no further. The village here has turned back while you still can.
Okay, that definitely sounded like going to the village and murder a mariner. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, some things to note. First off, we've got these trees trying to come up, but you can see that they've got these bulges and specifically like those same eyeballs from the roots. From the root systems in areas that deal with those who live in death. Second, we have this really irritating mariner who should not be a difficult fight. They essentially never are. But they do call the dead to fight for them. Watch as he murders his own fighters. And again, in areas associated with death, we have Trina's lilies. And we've got our skeletal militiamen ashes. These are spirits of militiamen who live in death and will continue to rise until properly finished off. This is the grotesque fate of those who come into contact with Deathroot. So there we have explicit confirmation Deathroot is what causes those who live in death, and that just coming into contact with it through no fault of your own can cause you to live in death like this. Remember, the spirit said to choose to live in death is sickening, but these guys aren't choosing this. They're just, it's a thing that happened to them.
Another fool who won't listen to reason, eh? But with a prowess for weeding Deathroot. How would you like to earn the strength of beasts? If you're inclined to hunt more of those who live in death and weed their Deathroot, then I'll introduce you to Gurranq, the beast clergyman. I have a matter of my own to attend to, and the beast himself wishes for someone to take my place. What say you? Very well. Show me your map. I've marked the location for you, of a hidden gateway. It will lead you to Gurranq, the beast clergyman. I have a matter of my own to attend to. I've spotted the mark of the centipede here in the village. An ill-omened symbol that should not be. Someone or something threatens the sanctity of the Golden Order and must be eradicated. What is it? Still milling about? The map indicates where the gateway is hidden. It will lead you to Gurranq, the beast clergyman.
Alright, so good guys always use terms like eradicated. One thing that I actually really like about this game is that he absolutely believes he's doing the right thing, as does basically every character, absent, you know, some of the more grotesque bosses. Hold on, there is a area I want to go to that I'm having trouble finding at the moment. But notice that this place is called Stillwater Village. It's got water pulled up that's having a hard time escaping. Seriously, where is the area I'm looking for? It was a pretty large space, I thought. I'm surprised I'm having issues finding it. Yeah. Maybe it's over this way. There we go. Turtles everywhere. A talisman in the shape of a green turtle raises stamina recovery speed. Turtles are known as a nutritious ingredient symbolic of inexhaustible power. However, those who hold turtles to be wise creatures consider the practice of eating their meat to be barbarous. We are not going to be killing any turtles. I don't know if they're wise creatures or not, but they definitely don't deserve to be eaten. This is a fun fact that has nothing to do with the lore of Elden Ring, but for a long time we couldn't name sea turtles because while they've been described, a specimen would never get back on a ship from ship to Europe or England to give them a name. Because apparently they are so delicious that they couldn't survive just like one sea trip because someone would eat them every time. So, you know, don't eat sea turtles, but apparently they taste very good.
I hadn't expected to see your face again. Are you heading to the Festival of Combat too? Oh, no need to be coy with me. Judging by the fine wallop you gave the old backside earlier, I would venture you're something of a warrior yourself. The mere thought of such a festival gets the blood pumping, eh? Now, according to my calculations, passing through this road should lead us to the Kaled Wilds. But, however you slice it, it seems we've reached a dead end. I'm sorry to have raised your hopes. It seems my calculations must have been off. I was created to be a warrior vessel. Many great warriors reside within me, ever dreaming of becoming a great champion. It's my destiny. And the reason for which I quest. It is my ordeal, you could say. To test myself, to better myself, to fell ever greater foes. And then, one day, we'll be a single great champion. The greatest of them all. What do you think, eh? How do you rate my chances? I was many... It's my... I was many...
So the dead bodies that live within him apparently still have some sort of cognition, or at least they're able to dream. The phrase dream, the word dream in particular is interesting because of how sleep and death are tied together in this world. But yes, he's carrying many dead warriors, and that's basically where he gets his consciousness from. So we aren't going to fight everything over here, but I do want to look at a spot. Where you can see water is escaping from Steed's Water Terminal. Ends up here. We've got the Trina's Lilies at the base of this waterfall. We've got... You think I can get? And then this water flows this way. This is one of the churches of America where they had in the past. And ultimately ends up leading here, where there's a portal that's going to take us deep into Caelid. I was kind of trying to avoid going to Caelid until later in the game. That's the reason I avoided the infamous Caelid teleporter trap. But we do need to go talk to this dude.
I smell it. Death. Feed it me. Tarnished. Bring more death. I shall grant thee eye and claw. Feed me more.
Okay, let's take a moment and look at these items that we just got. So the first is this beast eye. And if you look at it closely, you can see the 3 claw marks on the eye that match the 3 claw marks over Melena's eye. And it says, claw-marked stone eye received from Gurranq beast clergyman. It is said to tremble when near Deathroot. The murky violet iris writhes as if alive. I am not sated. Feed me more death. And the fact that it's violet is important as well. We've met one character already associated with the color purple. That's Saint Trina. Well, we haven't met her, but we know about her. We will meet another who's associated with purple eyes as well. And then we have the Clawmark seal we got, which is not a talisman, it's a seal. Sacred seal granted by Gurranq the Beast Clergyman. A rare trinket which allows incantations to be scaled with strength. The claw mark represents Gurranq's wrath and enhances bestial incantations learned from Gurranq. So, yeah, we will go ahead.
More. I'm not sated. Feed me more death.
And we'll get one of those bestial incantations. Incantation taught by Gurranq the Beast Clergyman swiftly flings a number of sharp rocks. It is said that in the time before the Erd Tree, stones were the first weapons of the beasts who had gained intelligence. And if you noticed, I've been trying to bring up, so a few things. I've been trying to bring up the ruins around Limgrave, but they're of this architectural style. You could see sort of these details carved into them all throughout Limgrave. Second, we have the beasts' bodies who are being given a Zoroastrian burial, sky burial. And we can see those burials have already occurred out here somewhat. We've got the faded Erdleaf flower, which says faded to a pale scarlet, found blooming in rotten lands, so we're in a land of rot at the moment. This jump is a little tricky. And now we're on these ruins nice and good. I don't think there's anything on this highest level. But just to check, yeah, no. This is another one of FromSoft's infamous jumping puzzles. That's what I thought. this is an area that's quite a bit above our point, so we're mostly going to be just trying to avoid enemies. But there is something here that I want to check out. Well, apparently we're not going to avoid any enemies, which is incredible. Shoot! Let's see if we can't do this whole bit a little faster this time, because I've got to call it here in a minute. We have another one of the Divine Towers, and you can faintly see the Erd Tree. And we have more of the Sky Burial Beasts and this weapon. So let's look at the items that we just got. We've got... Why does it say I'm in combat? That's super annoying. Okay. We've got the Cincada, short sword given to the high-ranking clergyman of Fair Missoula, and that's Gurranq was one of those high-ranking clergymen. Raises potency of bestial incantations. The design celebrates a beast's 5 fingers, symbolic of... There it is. No, it's okay. I wasn't reading anything or, like, working on anything. Okay. Let's drink a potion just in case. There we go. The design celebrates a beast's 5 fingers, symbolic of the intelligence points granted upon their kind. Yeah. So we've heard talk of the 3 fingers. We may have heard talk of the 2 fingers, or we will shortly, if not. And 5 fingers is apparently symbolic of sort of a whole intelligence, an intelligence found in the Beastmen. And we'll look at that other talisman real quick. Wrought iron talisman depicting an ancient dragon. The ancient dragons who ruled in the prehistoric era protected their lord as a wall of living rock, and so it is that the shape of the dragon became symbolic of all manner of protections. So just practically as a gameplay tip, this is one of the better early talismans, so you can get here at the very beginning of the game. The bats are sort of a pain in the butt if you have no health increases, but they can be avoided. Also, I just really like this area. We've got this sort of this temple that's very similar to sort of the ruins in Limgrave, and we've got we can see we're very close to this ancient divine tower. We can see the tree from here. And yeah, it gives us some lore on the beasts, which is going to become important as we go. So, it also means that we have officially left Limgrave. So the next time we rest at a grace, we're going to get the opportunity to go to the Round Table Hold, and that's what we'll do next session. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.